Hello to everyone in the Holy Trinity Greek Orthodox Cathedral community, especially our young people. This is Father Jonathan. I hope you're doing well. We've made it through the festival. It was such a beautiful experience of community and sharing and hospitality. So many people that I interacted with were so grateful to have been able to come, both people from our community and people from without our community or within our greater Charlotte community. It is such a wonderful opportunity for us to share who we are, our faith, our culture, both which are beautiful and transformative, and many felt that they were better for having been here. I also wanted to talk a little bit this week about some upcoming things that are going to be going on in our community. First and foremost, on the 22nd of September is the first day of Sunday school. If you haven't already registered, make sure you do. There's still time to do that. And please make sure young people who are watching these videos that you come to church and you bring your families, you come to Sunday school, because you'll learn so much and have wonderful experiences with other people your age and your grade, and getting to know your community members, your fellow community members, which is such a beautiful thing. That's what community life is all about: other people, being with them and enjoying their company as we grow together in faith and love. Coming up this week, there's a couple of beautiful celebrations that we'll be having. The first is this coming Friday evening at 6 p.m. We have the Vespers for Tu Stavru, or the elevation of the Holy Cross. And I'll talk a little bit in a moment about what that means and why we celebrate this feast and what we're remembering, because it's not a celebration from the life of Christ, but something that happened 300 years after Christ lived. And so on Friday evening, we'll have a great Vespers service and remembering the cross. And like we had earlier in the year, we are very blessed. I actually have a beautiful cross here. And in this cross, in this reliquary cross, we have a piece of the true cross, a splinter from the very cross that Christ was crucified on. And so we'll all have an opportunity as a community to come together to venerate the piece of the true cross, to receive the healing and the blessing that comes with the cross. And it's such a great joy and honor, a privilege that we have it with us. In addition to that, on Saturday morning, of course, we'll be having Orthros and Divine Liturgy for the Feast of Tu Stavru, of the elevation of the cross. Again, the piece of the cross will be there for us to venerate. And we ask, actually, if anyone is able to or anyone knows how to, we're always in need of prosphora, or the bread of the offering, which will become the host, the bread which we bless, which becomes the very body of Christ. And if anyone wants to also offer wine for communion, they may do that as well. But certainly we really could use some bread, especially for the feast days that are coming up. And we'll be having multiple liturgies soon. Starting on the 22nd, we'll be having a liturgy in the hall, all in English, for our youth especially, but also for the adults as well, and for those who wish to have an all-English liturgy. And that'll be simultaneous this coming, that Sunday, the 22nd. In the hall, with Father Christian, our wonderful new deacon, who's joined by his wife, Diakonisa Victoria. We're so grateful that they're here. And Father Vasilios, along with Father George, Deacon George, will be offering a bilingual liturgy in the cathedral at 9:30 as well. So those will be taking simultaneously, and we'll be doing. Keep an eye out for how we'll be doing it, because each week how we do the ordering of the services will be determined by the facility uses. So if the cathedral hall is open and it's not being used for another event, we'll have liturgy in there simultaneously, all in English, with the bilingual liturgy that'll be taking place in the cathedral itself. And after that, once there are three of us clergy, three priests to offer a Eucharistic service, we'll be having three liturgies. So after the simultaneous liturgies in English and in Greek in the hall and the cathedral respectively, in our chapel, we'll be offering a third liturgy, all in Greek, For those who would like to come to church a little bit later or would like to hear the service entirely in Greek, that'll be a beautiful opportunity that we'll rotate through. Each of us will be serving different liturgies depending on the week. The other option would be is if the hall is not available, we'll be having liturgy at 8:30, like we had been before, all in English in the cathedral, followed by a 9:30 bilingual liturgy. And again, once we have 3 priests to serve the liturgy, third liturgy all in Greek in the cathedral chapel just to the side of the narthex. Now, I talked a little bit about the feast that we'll be celebrating this Friday evening and Saturday morning, the Feast of the Elevation of the Cross. And this feast doesn't commemorate something from the life of Christ. It's actually something from church history and somewhat later in church history than all of the other feasts that we celebrate that are the great feasts. Now, we have 12 great feasts in the church, and the Feast of Feasts, Pascha, is above and over all of those. But on September 14th, we celebrate the feast day of the Elevation of the Cross. And the story is that St. Helen, a Christian, made pilgrimage to the city of Jerusalem. This is St. Helen, who is the mother of the man that will become emperor, and we know him as St. Constantine the Great, the one who legalized Christianity in the Roman Empire and established it as the official religion of the newly established Christian Roman Empire. And on this pilgrimage, she went in search of the true cross. And there were some stories about where they might be, and she went and she hired people to dig. The story is, and again, there's many stories, that she was throwing money into the hole that was being dug to motivate the diggers to dig more, to dig with more fervor. And they knew that they were in the right space because inexplicably, without any way of understanding it or knowing how it was happening, somehow the smell of basil, basilico, the kingly plant, was exuding from that area. And eventually the 3 crosses were found, the cross of Christ and the 2 thieves, but they weren't sure which cross was which. And the story is either that a very sickly man, a paralyzed man, was brought forth and laid upon the 3 crosses, and the third one immediately elicited a miracle, and the man was able to walk. The other story is that there was a man who had died, and this was a funeral procession. All we know for sure is there was some type of miracle where the true cross was identified by the raising either from death to life, or the raising from paralyzed to unparalyzed to wellness of a man. And this is how it was known. And this cross had been stored in Jerusalem and eventually was broken into pieces and sent to the major patriarchates, and eventually split into smaller and smaller splinters till the point where you can find pieces with some frequency, maybe not limitless supplies, of course. And that's how the piece of the cross that we have here came into possession, my possession. It was a gift that I received, and so again, in this reliquary is a piece of the true cross for our veneration, and we'd love to see you come and receive that blessing. And you keep tuned to this video channel, this YouTube channel, also on Facebook if you're watching it on Facebook, because we'll be posting more videos with greater frequency. Now that Father Christian is here, he might offer some videos as well. And we're also going to be starting a book club and a Bible study in the month of October. Father Vasilios will be leading the Bible study on the theme of the mystery of death and life after death in the Bible and the Church Fathers. And this will be each week, and the dates will be set soon. I will be leading a book study, a book club, on a book called The Names of Jesus by Father Thomas Hopko of blessed memory. And this book goes through all of the titles, the scriptural titles that are given to Christ, whether it's Son of God, Word of God, Son of Man, the high priest, all of these things. And it's quite a long book, and we might not get through it all in this year, but it's a beautiful way for us to, with intention, read the scriptures about who Christ is, who it is that we believe him to be, how we relate to him, and what his life and ministry means for us today. And so again, that's Father Thomas Hopko's The Names of Jesus, and I'm really excited to do this. You can find that book at the bookstore. We'll be getting some more copies. If there aren't any there, we'll order more. It's also available on digital book if that's what you would prefer. We're so very excited to start this new year of ministry. Keep an eye out for what's coming up for our youth ministry. Father Christian has some wonderful ideas, and he'll talk a little bit about that in a video. I hope he posts. He'll be posting soon, and we're looking forward to being introduced to him and the Diaconisa Victoria in the coming weeks, and hopefully soon celebrating an ordination to the priesthood. And axios to him on this impending event, and axi to the Diaconisa for the new role in ministry that'll bring for her as well. God bless you. Thank you so much. Again, stay tuned, and we look forward to seeing you at the feast this Friday and Saturday, and also on Sunday. A word of note that I did forget was on Saturday evenings we have great Vespers every Saturday evening, and this coming Saturday I'll be doing a special talk on sacred space, worship, iconography, and ecclesiastical music as a presentation to some visiting churches in the Charlotte area. But it'll be also open to anyone from our community who wants to come. And every Saturday night, we'll be having great Vespers at 6 p.m. And I'll be giving a little talk about Orthodox theology, history, spirituality, practice, biblical studies, whatever it is. And it's an open question and answer too. It's usually in the chapel, but it will also on bigger events like on this coming Saturday, we'll open it up and hold it in the cathedral itself. All right. God bless you. Thank you so much. Bye.